Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Luna and I had a nice long walk. She's excited about it because she hasn't been able to do much because there's been so much rain. It is muddy, muddy, muddy around here. We have had a lot of wonderful rain. I'm a Texan. I have to love rain. It's like, dang. Anyway, uh, I'm gonna get my day started with a little sip here. Mm, hope you have something too that makes you get your morning started and get your day off to a right uh, trajectory. Linda dropped a ball for me. She wants me to get a little exercise, even though she walked me a long way. She says, "Nope, Dad, you still need to get up every now and then. And give me a ball to throw. That's what you need to do." All right. I was watching a video last night. A couple of guys that monitor the uh, China. And they do it in a very special way. I actually started watching these two guys back when they were living in China. They both have married Chinese ladies, and uh, I know one of them's got a child, and I don't think it was intentional that they don't share a lot about their family. They don't want to get them into the limelight. So, um, but it affected the way they were producing stuff. So anyway, the point is they were living in China and they were talking about the theme of the show was pretty much Chinese culture. They would go around and show uh, you know, how little villages were different from the big mega villages or mega cities, and how Chinese did ran their day-to-day lives. Nothing, not stars or rich people, but just the average Chinese family. What do they do? Where do they go? How do they vacation? How do they, uh, what are their religious practices? What do they eat? When do they eat? Stuff like that. All kinds of interesting stuff about life in China. It was very interesting. However, while I was watching, it kind of got into a little bit of a dark turn here because there was a clampdown on by Xi on some of the foreign influence, and they left. Both of them left because they were getting a little concerned about how things were going. And the other guy, and this is why I know the other guy that had the child, he was also wanting to make sure that he had uh, good medical attention for his child if there was any problems when it was born. So they had planned on moving back to the U.S., having him born there, which is good because then he wouldn't have to worry about the uh, even though his father was an American, he was from I think New York. I know it's the Northeast, so he wouldn't have to worry about you know transferring or to get his U.S. citizenship. But anyway, but during that time they moved over. There was a lot of strange things going on. It was kind of fun. I don't want to say fun because it wasn't fun. I didn't like what I saw. But it was fascinating, I guess is the right word, to watch how they changed, their journey changed from this cultural thing to how things are changing in China. And they have subsequently moved out of China. And we we are all aware of some of the things that are going on in China, and it's doesn't seem good. But here's what I primarily want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the Chinese people or the Iranian people who are also having problems, or the Russian people who aren't having problems, but they are causing us problems. There's a lot of stuff out there. She's being easy on me. She's giving me some real easy softball. Here you go, Dad. Right next to you. Just reach over. So they have a whole bunch of they have a whole bunch of things that. And here's the thing. I try not to. I I was going to use the word judge, but I try not to speculate on other cultures and what they go through because I don't live in their shoes. And even though we try to say we're a global community, we're not really. We're not really. I was reading a book called The History of the World, uh, written through a uh, Muslim eyes. And the guy that wrote the book, at the end of it, he had a good story that kind of expressed why it's hard for me, given my background here in the United States, to understand what they are going through in this was Afghanistan. So, and he uh, he was he was born in Afghanistan, but then he went to Pakistan and got a degree, and then he went to the U.S. and he's pretty much an American. I mean, as far as years he has spent of his life, but he's still tightly coupled to his family and friends back in the areas of the country there. So the story he had was he was going back, and this was after the U.S. had done the invasion into Afghanistan, and they came in and said, "Look, you guys, you need to decide who you want as your leaders, and we're going to put together this um, a vote, and each person gets one vote, and you get to decide who's going to be in charge of your little village." Now, this confused them because they had always had this one family be in charge of the village. And that one family would go around, like if somebody needed a well, they go and say, "How's it going?" "Well, my well's drying up." "No, you need a new well." And then they would go around and organize the people in the village and say, "Hey, he needs a new well. Let's get this done. When can we do it? Who's got what tools?" And do all the planning and get it all together. Now, we come in and say, "No, it's not that family anymore. You just got to vote." And they, oh, hold on. So they were explaining to them that they're confused why they want them to change. He says the Americans were real nice. They were friendly. Oh, but this is the better way. And we're like, but we've been doing it this way for 600 years. Why is that wrong if it's been working for 600 years? Why is it wrong if it's been working for 600 years? And they don't want the change. Why do we have to tell people how to run their village? I don't think we should. We should instead let people, the closer they are, have a little bit more say, and it doesn't have to be with a vote. It can be however they want to organize. So I say all those things to say I don't understand what's going on in China. It's not the way we do things, and I hope everybody, well, I know there's a lot of pain and suffering going on right now. And they're probably saying it's probably, well, we think it's pretty bad there in the United States. So all this is to say sometimes we have to let go a little bit. We have to let somebody else know what they need in their lives. It's hard to administer from the top. It's hard to know these things. There's a famous story about the collapse of the Soviet Union. One of the bureau guys called uh, economics area in the British government, and they asked them, "How do you control your how much bread to make?" And the guy said, "What do you mean? How do I control how much bread to make?" Well, we always set how much bread to be created each year, so for the following year. And we don't create it now. And they're like, how does that work? How can you just not control the bread? It's the way we do things. It worked well for us. We're starting to find out now that the Soviet Union had some problems like that, but a lot of things actually worked pretty well in the Soviet Union. Not saying the Soviet Union was good, but there were it may not have been for the people as bad as some things that have been said or portrayed. I don't want to have the Soviet Union here, just to be clear. I like the way my government works. I like the way I have an ability to make a minor vote and make a little bit of an adjustment or aid in the adjustment. I like it. It's not perfect. It's really stupid in many ways, and we have a lot of things that we should work on that we don't, but I like it. So, wow, that was a lot of rambling just to say, always keep in mind that when you see all this stuff going on in different countries, there's a lot of things we won't understand because of what we know here in the United States. Keep that in mind. All right. Well, I'm gonna take Luna inside and get myself some more coffee. And do you have a good day today, Luna? She's been having a rough time with all this wet weather. We're supposed to get a lot of rain here. Poor thing. I'm just gonna have to start chasing her around the house. Ugh, she'll load that. I won't. I got to burn that energy off somehow. All right. So, you ready to go? Go inside? All right. You guys take care. Have a great day.